Howdy YouTubers, welcome to another video. Finally, I have returned. It's been quite a while since I did any kind of videos, so time to get the camera back out, and for good reason as well. So for those of you wondering what I get up to in the winter, the last 2 seasons I've kind of like fished my own place, on and off, not done a lot. However, this year is going to be different. I've finally decided to drag myself away from my own house, strip away all my luxuries, and come and actually go fishing somewhere else. So that being said, I am at Digger Lakes. Some of you would have seen the video that I did during the summer here. However, we're now on to the winter. They were doing a winter ticket here. Managed to lay my hands on one, and I'm going to be fishing here right the way from November, which is just turned now, all the way up until the start of March. It's very, very different here in the winter compared to what it is during the summer months. During the summer months there was a lot of weed about. There still is a little bit of weed about, but a lot of it is dying back, or either that or has been cleared away since my last visit here. As always, I had a really good look around when I got here. I probably spent an hour to an hour and a half just trekking around the lake, trying to find any kind of signs of fish, because here you've really got to try and find the fish, because it's all islands, bays and channels, and you can literally sit for a whole weekend in front of nothing. I didn't actually get any sightings of any fish. The lake's completely dead apart from one person being on, and they are in Brick Point. I didn't actually speak to them, so I don't know whether anything's come out or anything like that. I just kind of like left them to it. So as I said, had a good look around, couldn't see anything, but I've ended up in Tyler's Bay. Now, Tyler's Bay was the swim, if you remember, if you've seen the video, that was actually closed due to the amount of weed that was in it. But they've cleared it all out in here. This was the only real place that I sort of found any kind of like fishing activity with just like bubbling and fizzing. There was a little bit, but not a lot. So we're going to start off in here. My rod's sat behind me here, and I've probably been fishing for about an hour now. So I'll talk you through the setup, and I'll show you what I'm using, where I'm fishing, and what my plan of attack is for the weekend. Rig wise is relatively straightforward, just length of tubing on a rotary rig with a stiff boom and a pop-up. I've got one on a yellow and the other one is on a white. So I'm going to be using 2 rods for this session. I always feel that less is more in these situations, because it's quite tight in here. It's quite a small water, and yeah, it's not really the time of year for sort of like 3 rods in my opinion, because it just ends up being a waste of time if the fish aren't around anyway. So the first spot I've chosen is against this reed bank here. Just a little underarm flick over to that one. And the second spot I've chosen is right up inside this channel here, just kind of like level with the tree branches, just out in the open water. So it'll give me the best of both worlds really. We've got a margin spot and we've got an open water spot to see what happens. Baiting scenario, as you've just seen, I've just put some bait in, relatively straightforward again. I'm just going to be taking an all boilie approach for this one. Just going to feel my way into it. I do have some pellet with me as well, but at the moment I'm just going to concentrate on the boilies, just kind of like peppering the area really, and just trying to get them, you know, in and around and picking up a few baits. But as always, I'm using the Munch Baits Biomarine. Really good bait actually. I use a lot of it at my place, and it's really all I ever use these days. Has a really distinct smell to it as well, so it might be something that's not used here a lot, I don't know. But my other rod, just using the Catapult, that's out at about 9 wraps. So yeah, from here on in, see how it goes. Well, we've reached the hours of darkness now, and as you can tell, the temperature has dropped right off. Yeah, about 8 o'clock in the evening, and we're going to go into the first night and see what happens. I can't really do a lot more than I already have. I did have a couple of liners earlier on, not much of a liner, just a couple of bleeps on the rod, but there are other fish in here as well, so I think there used to be silvers and things like that, like perch and pike, so could well have been, you know, something of that nature, but we will see what happens during the night tonight, and yeah, we'll go from there. I think the best opportunity is probably going to be the hours of darkness. The fish seem to be a little bit more mobile at this time of year as soon as those light levels drop, so you never know, can live in hope, but yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping to get my feet on the ground with this relatively quickly. It's been a long time since I've been here, but looking forward to this new challenge nonetheless. Good morning. No fish last night. However, I did have a succession of liners at about 2:30, 3 o'clock. So I think my predictions were pretty spot on about the fish being sort of like more mobile in the hours of darkness. It did actually get to the point last night where I kind of like sat up on the bed chair for half an hour because they were happening so frequently. So I think they were definitely in here last night, but unfortunately no pickups. We did have a fair bit of rain last night, as we have had all through the week after the storm that we had during the middle part of the week. So the water is very, very coloured. You can't really see a lot compared to what it was like in the summer. It's a completely different ball game. So the rod's still out from yesterday, and I'm going to leave it as that as well. I know everything's fishing, so there's really no need for me to take anything out or move anything. I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not expecting a lot during the daytimes. I've got the feeling that most of the activity is going to come as soon as those light levels start to drop off. However, we will carry on fishing throughout the day, and we'll keep an eye on the water and see what happens, and I shall update later if anything changes. Well, it's round about 4:30 now. It's probably going to start to get dark pretty soon, so I thought I'd do my last little bit before the end of the day, before it gets dark. So what is there to report? Nothing whatsoever, not even a bleep all day long. So it's the last chance saloon tonight for a bite. Hopefully they come in again, and hopefully this time do a little bit of feeding, but who knows. This is why this place is called Snails, because it's a snail pace. It really is slow, and especially at the moment. I had a walk around earlier, I saw a couple of guys that had turned up, and they did say that it's been fishing pretty slow lately. So you know, it is what it is, but that's part of why I'm here, because I love the challenge of the place. So yeah, rods have just been recast, new pop-ups on, and let's see what tonight brings. Morning. Well, last night was relatively quiet, very quiet. Nothing happening at all, no liners, no nothing. However, 8:30 this morning, something's a little different here. We have one in the net. It's a nice one as well. Looks like a good mid-double, that one. So we'll get that one out. Oh, I'm so glad I've got this right. This place is really hard. You wouldn't believe how hard this place is in the winter. So yeah, I'm glad I've got something for the camera. Right, time to have a look at what we got. Actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was. 19 pound. Ugh. Oh, it's cold. Pretty cold fish. Nonetheless though, brilliant start to the winter ticket. I'm so glad I got this right. Because as I said, you can sit behind blank rods for weeks on end here if you don't get it right, especially in this time of year when everything's starting to cool down. Lovely fish, mint condition. Yeah, pretty happy with that one. Right, time to get this one back. We've got a few hours and we'll see what happens for the rest of the session. Right, we've come to the end of the session now. I'm all packed up, ready to go. I'm just having a quick look around in some of the other swims just to check out some likely areas for my next visit. So in summary, quite a good little session really for quite a what's known for being quite a hard water at times. Everything's starting to cool down at this time of year, so the fish activity becomes less and less active. I didn't see any fish when I got here. I literally picked a spot where I thought they would be, and I picked that area because it's the last time I was here it was full of weed. This time around I thought to myself, well, those fish must come in at some point and visit those areas to check out new food sources. That's literally what I went off of. That and those few little bubbles that I saw, which I don't think amounted to anything. Simple tactics again, just the 2 rods. I usually just use 2 rods during the winter time, just because there's less fish activity, it's less lines in the water, and it makes you think a little bit more about what you're doing, and you know where you're gonna place those rigs and baits, and you know, sharpens up your homing skills a little bit. I'm not too sure when my next session here is going to be. I'll probably plan one for next weekend, but we'll see how that goes with the weather and, you know, day-to-day life. It always changes at the last minute. So I plan on another video soon, and as soon as I make another one here, we'll do another one and we'll see how we go. Well, tight lines, thanks for watching, see you later.